If one person is shoveling snow while everyone else is asleep, then it's early on a Saturday in Allersberg. Outside the Lowrider workshop, it's not just the weather that's at freezing point, so is Benny's mood. The guys should be here by now. Anyone who wants to get up high has to get up early. The lowriders in America bounce at least 2 meters. This is the bounce the 3 guys from Franconia want to achieve too. Benny is the head of the unit. Torsten is the mechanic. And Hans is the clown in the team. 2 cars, 3 men, 1 mission. To build the best lowrider in Europe. It's morning and Hans and Torsten are late due to congestion. Here, a lot has accumulated too, work to be precise. In just 2 months, the respectable Lincoln town car is to become a real lowrider. The 2-ton car is supposed to bounce 2 meters high. The power for this comes from 14 batteries. But the hard landings are also a problem, although thanks to 8 millimeters more steel, nothing can bother this Lincoln frame anymore. The new rear axle is still missing, also strengthened and beautifully chromed, because lowriders are a little bit vain, especially around the bottom. A beauty procedure with a few little malpractices. The diva complains. The parts have never been installed. Our welded part is probably now a bit too tight. But it's better to be too tight than have everything dangling around inside, so we'll get it in. Benny might have a master plan, but there's still no construction manual. It's a task worthy of Sisyphus. This exasperating experience is one that Manny has also had to go through. The amateur mechanic from Berlin wants to sign up as an apprentice with the team. The lowrider scene in Europe is small, and the team's project unique. I'm happy that I can help Benny with building this lowrider because Benny is building an American car and I've only built a German one. And American cars are quite different. So now I can at least see how it's done. And Manny introduces himself straight away as a lowrider worthy. After all, the Berliner turns up in a real classic. And it's duly admired when they welcome him. That's a real car. It has an enormous weight, no plastic, thick doors, everything is fabric, leather and metal. Not a lump of plastic like they build nowadays. The 6.4, a 1964 Chevrolet Impala, is the most popular basis for lowrider conversions. The top model of the American medium class came onto the market in 1957. The special thing about this 6.4 is that it once belonged to drummer Bela B. from the German punk rock band Die Ärzte. Enough gawking, now it's time to get building. The grace period for the new arrival is over. Building a lowrider, lesson 1, bouncing with hydraulics. Benny explains to Manny how the hydraulics are supposed to work.
This is deep cup, okay? Reverse deep cup, weil es dann praktisch drüber steigst über den Zylinder. Die Feder darüber. Jetzt Feder drüber. Liegt dann schön hier auf. Im Endeffekt sieht es jetzt aus wie...
Basically, now it looks like a German spring strut. McFerguson spring struts for the front. We've assembled German axles at the front just like that. Only inside the spring there's a shock absorber. And for us, the spring is over the hydraulic cylinder, and the hydraulics will then deploy underneath here. It's not just the inside that counts in a lowrider. For this reason, abundant chrome and decoration are a must on the scene. For the purchase of the car, shipping, paint job and various improvements, the guys have budgeted a total of 14,000 euros. Britney Spears spent that much just on her bikini figure this season. Nonetheless, the thing should really bounce and still remain roadworthy. Lesson 2 for Manny. Get rid of anything bothersome. Completely roadworthy? Yes. But no one has said anything about the official vehicle inspection, so now it's time for the exhaust to feel the heat. It's also the case that the original exhaust system was partially positioned over the axle, and now that the axle has been chromed, there's a danger that if we left it in, the parts would rub together and it'd rub all the chrome off. Lesson 3 in lowrider building: if there are springs, leave them there. Thorsten and Hans now want to install the American Special springs on the front axle. These are only delivered at a length of 45 centimeters. It's a standard measurement which the guys first have to laboriously adjust to the car, and the purpose, once again, it's a matter of trial and error. Of course, this is a terrible height to do this at, but if the others have to work underneath the car, we can't do anything about that. Ah, yes, Hans says he'll manage it. That's why they go to the gym. Manny and Benny don't need that, thanks to the exhaust. They've got enough to sweat over in the neat car beauty center. The problem is the exhaust is loose. It can be turned, but not pulled, because the clamp has pressed the two pipes together so much that they basically go in, but not back again, like a fishing barb. You can turn it back and forth, but you can't pull it out. You have to sculpt it up a bit more, and then we can pull it out. A task for real men. For Thorsten and Hans, masculinity is reaching its limits. The new springs are just too long. If we cut them too short, the problem is that the car wouldn't work properly anymore, and then we'll have basically broken a set of springs, and that would be a mistake. A costly mistake, because the set of springs costs 250 euros, and the delivery times from America are long. Okay, left spring strut, second attempt. This task requires one thing above all: stamina. Install it, doesn't fit, take it out again. Install it, doesn't fit, take it out again. It's making me sick. On to the next round of frustration. In the exhaust crew, the sparks are flying as well. Chrome side pipes instead of a rusty tailpipe. And the sound? For Thorsten and Hans on the front axle, the end is also in sight. They're just missing the 13-inch Zenith spoked wheels for around 1,000 euros, an extremely sensitive affair. It hurts me to have to hit it with the lead hammer inside, but amazingly nothing happens with this hammer at all. Ow, but no time for pain, it's time for the first endurance test. It looks good. And it sounds good too. The team leader is happy. That was pretty damn good. It's brilliant. Next time with the lowriders, the battle of materials begins. The next mess, huh? And the time pressure is increasing. Something like this is always annoying. Now the whole magnetic switch is broken, so we have to take the whole thing out. And the mood turns. Benny has had enough.